Hello again. It's always a great pleasure to have you on board the marketplace. Let's start with the very first story here. HR professionals in the country have been tasked to employ more flexible modes of communications to boost productivity. This was made known by International Conference speaker, facilitator, and author Sifiwe Moyo at the 2019 Ghana HR Summit. He warned of possible collapse of some businesses if HR relations are not reviewed. There's more in this report.
Majority of Ghana's workforce, especially those within the private sector suffering job insecurity, HR practitioners have been challenged to cultivate optimism and good communication skills when business environment become tough and turbulent. Addressing HR professionals at the 2019 Ghana HR Summit, International Conference speaker, facilitator and author Sifiwe Moyo warned that a tense working environment breeds depression and low productivity.
It is so important because our times are really tough. They are turbulent times. We no longer really have job security. Many companies are retrenching all over the world. And so it's very important, firstly, for us as HR professionals to teach our employees how to be agile, how to develop their own employability and increase their skills for this changing world of work. And also just to embrace that positivity. What I was talking about in the summit is what we call psychological capital. In order for you to survive tough times, you need to build yourself up, firstly in terms of skill, but also in terms of your psychological resources to be able to adapt to the changes that we have.
All right. As an international speaker and even practitioner, what do you think is the case here in Ghana? Do you see a workforce in the private sector that is so much insecure?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think everyone in the private public sector can see that things are tough. They can see that the artificial intelligence, the robotics is coming to the country as well, and people are asking themselves, what should I do? And my view in what should we do, I think there's two things that I think I would suggest that if you're an employee, please do. Firstly, don't panic. Don't say, hey, the robots are coming for our jobs, we must panic. But also don't do nothing. Just try and understand the future of jobs. Maybe read a report about the future of jobs and just position yourself for that change.
Finally, from your perspective, what do you think about Ghana's workforce or working environment that must change in terms of legislation?
I think the agile workforce, so the part of the conference that we're talking about is just being able to be an agile workforce. So understanding that sometimes when you have a lot of business, you can employ a lot of people. Sometimes when you don't have a lot of business, you can be able to maybe reduce your staff. But that agility in tough times is needed.
Meanwhile, in a speech presented on his behalf, Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Ewia, urged HR practitioners to continue building the capacity of workers so they can remain relevant to the work environment.
Your job this morning will be to find a way of building an agile workforce as well as seeking avenues to empower the youth and make them skills-oriented while they seek entrepreneurial ventures as well as make their way into the ready job market, which currently absorbs less than 2% of the numbers churned out.
The two-day conference is themed Building an Agile Workforce.
Let's now turn attention to one of our top stories. The Finance Ministry has finally started paying monies owed Groupindoo. The ministry had contested the figures in the past. Now, documents cited by Joy Business show that an initial amount of 2.8 million cedis is to be released to the group. But what will be the implication of this on its subsidiaries in meeting its financial demands of its clients? Detailed in this report.
Issue payments, we understand, is going to the Roads Ministry to pay work that has been executed and validated. We are also learning that the other government agencies that are said to owe some significant amount that has been validated has also been asked to take steps to settle the validated amounts owed to the relevant contractors. Documents seen by Joy Business also showed that the Finance Ministry, now based on validated claims, pulled its indebtedness to Groupindoo at 30.3 million cedis. The admission is coming after months of contesting this claim of Groupindoo, but sources close to the Papakwesi Indom firm is again contesting the this new amount, insisting the government's indebtedness should be put at 2.2 billion cedis. Dispute over this money owed the group has impacted negatively on its financial position, as it then struggled to pay deposited funds of its savings and loans company. But some have, however, argued that these payments would obviously go a long way to improve the liquidity of some of its subsidiaries that were struggling to meet the demands of its clients.
All right, so we're staying glued to developments in this particular area, and we'll certainly update you from time to time. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has hinted that challenges encountered with enforcement of the excise tax stamp policy will soon be a thing of the past. This follows the decision by the authority to enhance its enforcement efforts, leveraging technology and through other modern methods. Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Emmanuel Kofinti, made the revelation when he launched a new mobile application known as the Tax Term Authenticator in Accra. Now, my colleague Ebenezer Sabute was at the launch. He joins me on phone for some updates. Good afternoon, Eben. Welcome to the marketplace.
Hi, good afternoon, Emmanuel.
Now, so what is this new application about and why is it so critical?
Okay, so this became critical because the GRA have found out that some people have, started doing the stamp that is, fake. When they went round, some of the officers went round, they realized that some of the tax stamp on the products were not the original tax stamp from the GRA's office. So there's a need for people to be careful about what they use and whether it's, the correct version of what they are buying or not. So they decided to come up with this app so that each and everyone will have it on their phone, so that whenever you buy the product, you can be able to check and know whether the product you are buying is fake or is the original, so that they also pay the right taxes on the kind of products that they are selling in their various retail markets. Now,
so Eben, how would it operate? Is every seller or trader going to have this authenticator, affixed on its machines?
Okay, so it's not about retailers or industries only. It's you and I can have it on our phone, and it is just an app on the Android phone where you go to the Google Play Store and you download it. You search for Ghana Tax Stamp Authenticator, you download it, and then all the requirements are there, and you start. So you just pick a product, and then you start doing the scanning. It's easy. They took us through the demonstration, and everyone that has an Android phone can do it. It doesn't only belong to the retailers.
All right, now, so having gone round, what is going to happen to these companies who are blatantly flouting this particular, direction?
So the GRA commissioner did indicate to us that there are some issues that are in court, and they are going through the process to prosecute some people. So it means that if you are found culpable of this, you may find yourself behind bars, because this is against the Excise Tax Stamp Act 2013, which the GRA says they are leaving no stone unturned to make sure that the state is getting all the revenue it deserves.
All right, many thanks, Ebenezer Sabute, for that update. Let's turn our attention now to the energy sector. Deputy Minister of Energy, William Oreku Edu, yesterday assured that the relocation of the car power vessel to Takoradi will not impact power supply for the 17-day period of decommissioning. This follows the announcement by Car Power Ship Ghana Company Limited that its 470 megawatts Karadeni's power ship Osman Khan will be off the national grid on Tuesday, August 13. That's today. Now, we would like to get some further updates on the possible implication of this current development. And we have on the line, via Skype actually, energy expert Ishmael Jokumheni to help us understand the dynamics. But before he joins us, let's hear exactly what the Deputy Minister has been saying.
Movement of car power, the car power ship makes up to almost 20% of the total national consumption of power. And the movement of car power ship from Tema to Takoradi is going to take that much from the generation for the country. But I'm happy to announce to your listeners and to the general Ghanaian public that we've taken measures to take care of that amount of energy being taken out of the system. We've taken measures to replace it. There shouldn't be any problem. And I can assure the good people of this country that this movement of car power from Tema to Takoradi is not going to cause any negative impact on the supply of energy. We've taken the necessary measures to make sure that we do not suffer any adverse effect in the national system. As you know, we have enough gas supply in the west, which is from the Sankofa field. So the decision is to move car power from Tema, which hitherto has been using HFO, to Takoradi, to use the natural gas that is coming from the ENI field. For the fact that car power has announced this, the good people of this country would not even have known that the movement of the 450, 470 megawatts has been taken out of the system. We have taken enough measures. We have enough fuel for other generators to take care of this reduction in the generation due to the movement of the car power ship from Tema to Takoradi. These are localized. If anybody is experiencing any shortage of power or taken out of power to their area, it is not necessarily Dumso. If a car runs into a pole in your area, you will have, unfortunately, a problem with the supply of power. But as far as the classic definition of doom so is concerned, that's due to generation shortfall, we do not have that problem.
So that was what the Deputy Energy Minister Groupindoo said yesterday, giving us some assurance that actually we're not going to have any impact on energy supply as a result of the relocation of the car power vessel. But we've been joined by the energy expert Ishmael Jekunhene via Skype to actually give us some perspectives to see whether exactly what the Deputy Minister is saying is true or not. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the marketplace.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel.
Now, so we have lived in a situation before where a little hitch within the value chain, spells doom for the entire energy sector. Now, with this current assurance from the Deputy Minister, what's your take on it? Do you actually believe this?
I think so, especially given the fact that only a couple of weeks ago the Minister of Finance was telling us how we're struggling to deal with the excess and idle capacity that we have. Given the numbers, it should be very easy for them to take out the 450 car power and still have enough generators available to give us the power that we need as a country. The peak demand is still around 2,600, 2,700, and all the available and also dependable capacity should give us enough buffer to be able to accommodate this downtime for the car power ship to allow for its movement to the western region.
Now, decommissioning and further commissioning later on of these vessels can come with some challenges. Now, in case this period should extend further, do you still think that we can contain as a country the energy demand?
I believe so. I believe so. It's only a matter of making sure that all backup fuel supply should not just take into account the 17 days, but also to make provision that thankfully, we have gas. Also, the reverse flow has also been completed. So it means that there will be gas coming back from the western corridors to the Tema enclave, so that the power plants there would also not be relying on liquid fuels, but they also be running on gas. So I think we are in a pretty solid position not to encounter any shortfalls as far as generation is concerned.
Would you then agree with me if I say that it is time to actually, renegotiate some contracts like the WAPCO supply of gas? Because if we have abundant gas now coming, why should we continue to be indebted to Nigeria through the supply of gas through WAPCO?
Okay, so there's a long-term agreement that was signed between the partner, what we call the foundation customers, as far as the WAPCO is concerned. And like every international treaty, there are grounds for renegotiation and stuff like that. If for any reason we find ourselves in a situation where we really don't need the gas from Nigeria, I think it's worth our while looking at the contract. In any case, this contract hasn't been any contract that the Nigerians have respected because that's when you need a gas, the pressure consistently hasn't been up to what we contracted. And I believe we should be able to. I don't have the feeling that it's a take or pay contract, but even if it is, we need to check whether the other alternatives in terms of its price, whether they are cheaper or they are more expensive. Initial analysis had confirmed that the Sankofa gas was slightly more expensive than even the WACP gas. So if that's the case, then we're better off still keeping the WACP gas at the end of the day, because it's going to, if you put all of them together, we're going to have cheaper gas supply. But yes, if we don't need any redundant gas, if we have redundant gas, stranded gas in our own, indigenous gas, it makes a lot of sense to go back and look at the agreement. Thankfully, I don't think even if it's a take or pay contract, the measures in there are punitive enough. Otherwise, the Nigerians wouldn't have been violating the agreement the way they've been doing over the past couple of years.
Many thanks for your thought. Ishmael Ejukumhene is an energy expert. He's been sharing some more perspectives on the assurance by the Deputy Energy Minister that the relocation of Car Power Ship would not have any impact on power supply. Let's turn attention now to the Ashanti region. Atwima Traditional Council in the Ashanti region is partnering the German city of Mainu to promote socio-economic development between them. Under the deal, the city will explore agricultural potential of the Atwima to produce organic food for export to Germany. Nana Jima has more in this report.
Other areas of interest include environmental protection, education, free trade and cultural exchange. Chief of Atwima, Nana Eje Brempong II, addressed the media during a recent visit to Germany for signing of the agreement.
Create an atmosphere in which economic development and trade can be developed, implemented, and strengthened. Our partnership will involve a sustainable agriculture to supply organic cocoa, organic fruits, organic vegetables of Ghana to the city of Muna.
Goal 13 of the Sustainable Development Goals seeks urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. The two partners look to initiate projects to protect the environment. Already, some individuals from Atwima area have received training in Germany on climate change. They are expected, together with German experts, due to arrive in the country soon to roll out public education to that effect. Nana Brempong again.
The partners want to move forward together to show that global challenges such as climate change, peace, and prosperity can only be managed through joint action.
Meanwhile, Atwima Kwawoma District Assembly, which is party to the partnership, commits support for initiatives under the agreement. District Chief Executive Nana Ochiteria Entry speaks of discussion on potential establishment of factories in Atwima area.
No, you went to the solar energy, let me say, their plants, and they talked a lot with them, and they are also happy to come down to see how best they are going to help us to establish that solar plant here in Ghana, in Atwima. So if it comes to Atwima, it means Ghana is going to benefit from it for that side. And they also talked about this organic factory, organic fertilizer factory. We are going to see how we are going to use the cocoa shells to develop this organic fertilizer, which is going to be used to develop our agri sector.
Nana Jima reporting.
It's live on the marketplace. Let's do some latest developing story. Now, cocoa buying company PBC is to be suspended from the Ghana Stock Exchange effective August 15. My colleague George Rafi has been picking up latest information from the market and has joined me to give us details. Now, George, what exactly is the reason?
So, according to an official release from the Ghana Stock Exchange, they are saying that they failed to publish their financial results effective even last year. Now, if you go onto the market, there are clear rules that they are supposed to comply with in terms of publishing of your financial results every year, every period, and all the rest. And looking at the period under review, PBC has failed to comply with some of these requirements. And based on the rulings or based on the regulations of the Ghana Stock Exchange, they've taken the decision that effective the start that is August 15, they can no longer be trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
Why has the stock exchange become so tough at this time? Because we've had in the past.
Well, it looks like going forward, they want to ensure that companies or firms that are actually active continue to trade on the market. You have instances where companies have been on the market, they are not that active, and there are issues about that one. So if you fail to comply with these rules, the right thing to do is that get off, and this is more of like a first strike before you can finally be delisted on the market itself. So they are suspending trading in this company, and then going forward, if they still fail to comply with the required measures, then maybe tell you that bye-bye, you can go off the market.
Right, so do we know whether it's going to be a longer term suspension?
As of now, we don't have the fine details as in whether it's it will last for a long time or for a short period. As in those fine details, you're yet to get them from the Ghana Stock Exchange. But what we can report right now is that from Thursday, they can no longer be trading on the Ghana Stock Exchange based on the Ghana Stock Exchange's own rules covering companies that are supposed to be on the market.
Now, there have been a lot of investors trading in PBC shares and equities. Now, what is going to happen to them?
Well, I don't think that over the period PBC has been doing that well, but it means that, for instance, even during that period you wanted to get out or you had a buyer and all the rest that was supposed to come and take your shares, it can happen. It means that you have restricted investors, potential investors, and even existing investors who might wanted to do anything with their interests. It's on hold. You can't do anything during that period. During that period also, if there were some people who were coming in, they were given higher price, and that could even push the price a little bit higher. Then so the price appreciation and even capital gains for shareholders. It means that during this period, nothing can happen for both the investor and even both for the company that is listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange.
That's very unfortunate. So what's the way forward for these companies?
They've cited instances or the reasons for the action. During the period under review, if PBC officials can quickly correct that, then it means that they'll be back on the market. Don't forget that they've been having problems. Even workers recently were on demonstration as to how the company was being run. So it looks like the company is going through some problems. And that's the last thing that you expect to happen to the company in these times when they're going through these challenges. Because for some of these foreign investors, if they even want to bring in any capital, being on the market is more of a guarantee to kind of bring in your capital. So if this is a problem, it's just not good for the company at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll certainly be talking to some stock market experts to know the actual implications of this on the Ghana Stock Exchange, of course, on the other equities also trading on the exchange. But for now, the latest information reaching us is that cocoa buying company PBC has been suspended from trading from the stock market from 15th of August. That's a Thursday coming. And that's all in the marketplace today. Many thanks for your company. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We have you join us again same time tomorrow for more updates in the world of business. Have a good afternoon.